Okay, this is Baruch, and this is the continuation, or actually, there was a little break there. So this is the first part of the Shir for the 28th of Adar Sheni in the Sifra Tzniut, this deep Sifra. So let me move this off of this and put it somewhere else. So we're right here. And it says like the Vizech of the Masak or Yochai, so now there's a conclusion over the Or Yochai. The Or Yochai is not that easy to understand, a lot of new ideas. So he said, so the Kavana of bringing this pasuk is this. Ki inu Yom Kippur, and the inui that takes place in over Yom Kippur. Moral ala Bina is really referring to Bina. Roma B'Tesha the Chodesh, and it says on the 9th day of the month. What does that mean? Mora al Tesha Tikuni Dikna de Zer Anpin, if that refers to the 9 Tikunim of the Dikna of Eric Anpin. Eric Anpin, always Eric Zer Anpin, has a beard which is only 9 Tikunim. V'ana ma'anim atzmeno, so what we do, we afflict ourselves, neged ma shehi Malchus Yavesha, because of the fact that Malchus is all dried up. Kadeshi is Galaka Yud Gimel B'Teshach Azer Anpin Kadefrishno, and all of this, the cycle of her being dried up and then bringing Shefa down, is all for the purpose of bringing the Yud Gimel. It also includes this purpose of the Yud Gimel Tikuni Dish Tikuni Dik. The Kadeshi is Galaka Yud Gimel. So the Yud Gimel Tikunim, which can be planted into Zer Anpin, who is only 9, B'Tesha the Zer Anpin Kadefrishnu, Ad Kan B'Ain Sham Sha'arich Od B'Bir L'Shonas Apostle Rei B'Ha'aros. So look over the Ha'aros, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go over to the Ha'aros here, and this number Bet here down at the bottom. He says, Rei B'Or Yochai. So again, once again, the Or Yochai is always bringing us new things that are not particularly developed at this point, but usually, as we go along, we get more insight into these words that he drops in. V'hinech b'Yom Kippurim ein bo tash b'shamika. V'hainech b'sov v'chanisem es nafsho seichem v'hainu Malchus she'esh locha b'inoi b'Yom Kippurim. So Malchus, which has this affliction on the Yom Kippurim, she'ein lo zivug, she has no man. Her man is sleeping. Behind her inui and nefesh, so that is an inui for the nefesh. And he wants to explain what it inui nefesh means. Nefesh refers to Malchus. The pasuk says like this: Malchu inuyu. What is in fact her suffering? V'Tesha, that it takes place on the 9th of the Sod Aleph Ches, Ha'olah Tesha Shuhu Teferes. And let's go back to what we're talking about. Aleph Ches is the number 9, and it appears in the Rashash at the Kriya Shema. It's the first 2 letters of the Kriya Shema. Ach refers to Zer Anpin and all of those spheres that are above Malchus, which are 9 of them. And then the Daled in the Kriya Shema refers to Malchus. So it's bringing the 9, which is Galoshan Zivug, down onto the 1. So that makes 10. The Semitation that kind of sewed Aleph Ches, Ha'olah Tesha, which comes in Gematria of 9, Shuhu Teferes, and that would be considered to be Teferes, in other words, the male aspect, up above Malchus. So he says Teferes, L'chadesh, She'ena Miska Sheres Tesha Teferes. So these, at this particular time, the 9 that refers to Teferes, Ima Chadash, which is called the Chadash, the new element, which is the Malchus. Hanikras Chadash, Vahu Bechinas Yom series, which is the concept of the 10th day. So explains the reason why there is no yichud that takes place from the side of the night, Shuhu Adin, which is the side of Din. She'ein yichud mitzad, the small klal, there's never a yichud on the left side at all. The chag, until you reach there. In other words, it's not incorporated into the yichud. And I was saying, this is that this day in this last year, actually it's this year, the beginning of this year was a massacre on this day, of all the Peace Now people and the people who thought that they could tame the Arabs. ואומר הטעם שאין ייחוד מצד ערב שהוא הדין, שאין ייחוד מצד a small klal ad chag, there is no yichud from the left side until the holiday, that is into Sukkot. B'fnei shelo nisyached ZOHAR im nekeva yichud mamish, because up until that time there is no real yichud that takes place between ZOHAR and Nuk. Elor besod hamshachas ima ilah, the only thing that happens is that there's a hamshacha that comes from ima ilah, or Yom Kippur, which it brings the light of Yom Kippur, lebartach to her daughter, which is Malchus, who is down below. So this is going on a little bit, so let's hear a little bit more. So he says, Bahainu, Pirmo Elokim Bina, so that is Bina, which is Elokim, says, Tedsha Aretz Malchus, which is Malchus. Aretz is Malchus. So bring forth from Malchus. Amnam ein ha-yichud al yedecha b'cha-zohar. So we have, what happened is there's no yichud that takes place through the zohar. V'hainu sod ha-tshuva she'ein zecha b'arves ha-zohar, because this is the concept of tshuva, where you don't have any illumination coming from the male aspect, el ha'aretz ima re'elocha b'sod ha-yovel, but only, in fact, just a ha'ara, now the glow, or the radiance that's coming into the nukva, is going to come from Ima law, and this is the concept of Ima law in this situation is called the Yovel. She possesses all of the light. Hina Ratzadeh beyachad the Teferes in the Malchus the Tzaddik, which is Yisod, is the agent that it could also be a tzaddik who prays, is the same thing, but the that's the spiritual aspect of it. Is I said that you're making a yichud of the Teferes in Malchus. So the father, Koshra, she ties together with Bina, besod hayovel, bepered mitashmish mita mitam bagam. So all of this is really very difficult for me to understand, but I'll read it. For the Av, that is, now we say Chochma. Koshra ima Bina, he ties her with Bina. How that takes place, I don't know. Besod hayovel, which is the secret of Yovel, which would really could use a lot more explanation. But Perid betashmis, when you're talking about there's not going to be any tashmis here, tashmis amita, mitam bagam, because of the reason of a bagam. I don't know what bagam he means yet. Maybe the original bagam, I'm not sure. V'im kol zecha b'makom shabal tshuva omdim, and with all of this, the place of bal tshuva omdim, which are people that are returning to Bina, shehem mekashrim ozachol besod the yovel lagadol, because what's the job there is the mekasher Bina besod the yovel gadol shuhu or hakesed to get the frishna, which is coming from Abba into her, but it's actually coming ultimately from Keser. Ein tzadikin gemurim v'cholon Abba, nobody who's completely pure will be able to stand in that place. Mipnei shal sod dikna amarno b'sifra d'tzniuta. He says why? Because we're talking about the secret of the dikna of Eric Anpen, I suppose, b'sifra d'tzniuta, the ale. Eretz lo yashar of Adam sham shuhu sod hayichud. There is no yichud taking place. Is really what he's saying. Im came a mimer, if that's the case, that this mimer that we're talking about, shuhu, which is what? Shuhu tadsha aretz desha, which is bring forth this desha. Here we go. The hainu sod shachos haneshamos. That is, what does he mean? The desha. So desha means the pouring out on the shamos machabina, vein tashmis amita, and at this time there's no male female. It's all coming out of bina. Ella neshamos nimshachos me'ima ilah dereka yisod vadai. They come through her yisod below bezivugos, and not as a result of a yichud between their anpen and the nuk shiyom kippurim, also betashmas amita, because you can't have a mating at that time. So I think that's where we stop here on part 1.